Yet more evidence that spending quality time with a newborn can fundamentally alter a father's brain and have a lasting impact on the way they parent. There's apparently this important early time that can remake the brain and have long-lasting impacts. This is coming out of the University of Southern California. They found that adult neuroplasticity is affected by these sorts of experiences. By spending quality one-on-one time with a newborn, changes observed in fathers' brains correspond with a similar change in mothers' brains in response to parenting, caregiving, pregnancy, and lactation. So I think most people just accepted that that sort of thing happened with mothers, but spending a lot of time early on can have a similar effect on fathers. There was a study of first-time fathers in Spain versus those in California. The fathers in Spain experienced changes in the brain associated with sustained attention. Researchers determined the changes could translate to them being better prepared for the emotional and cognitive demands of fatherhood. Now, why did they compare those two groups? Well, because like 63%, I believe it is, of countries around the globe have guaranteed paid paternal leave. We, the richest, best country in history, don't. And you're lucky if you get literally any time. Now, I was lucky enough that I did get 12 weeks to spend with my newborn, but lots of fathers are not that lucky. And this is now indicating that this is not just a short-term thing that's being stolen from the parent and from the child, from the family. It has a long-term impact. Yet more reason, from my point of view, JR, that we should finally legalize paid paternal and maternal leave.
The hardest thing as far as coming up with, I guess, some support behind this when it comes to politicians who think that it's badass or American to say, like, why aren't you getting your ass straight back to work? What's the matter with you? Especially as a father, they're the same people who will talk about where are the fathers in empty households. Where are the fathers? Fathers are necessary. We need a two-parent household. Yet we still have policies that automatically make that a 1.5 parent household or a 1 parent household or a half parent household, because many times people have to do other things to get straight back to work, to go ahead and fill back in the gaps to help pay more into the system to give to rich folks. Okay, but this is the way it always has worked. So we're very hell-bent on making sure more and more people are right straight back to work. So all those principles about family and raising kids right and why are the 2-parent households, they're saying that's bluster. They don't really care about those things. Those aren't principles. Their principles are always based in money. Because again, these folks, these legislators, they're in office because they're paid by, again, more money, folks. This is the cycle. It's constantly just about money. Everything else they feed you is to convince you of something else so they can get back to the money. Don't be fooled. It's more about the money. It's right back again to the money. And then after that, it's money. They don't care about your family. Think about it. When your kid's in school, do they care about him then? When your kid is in a threatening situation at school, do they care about him then? Your kid is sick and it costs all this money for the kid to go through whatever kind of treatments or then even doctor visits. Do they care about him then to have policies that support you in those situations? They only have policies that support you in them saying, we care about your family system and situation. When it comes to you actually contributing to your family in that situation, what are you doing? This isn't Venezuela. What's the matter with you? They start dogging you out and telling you you're not American, because the American way is to forget them kids and get your ass back to work. What do you think this is, a free country? I'm telling you, bro. But studies like this that talk about exactly how connectivity happens between family members and how actually you raise kids that are more well-adjusted to society and actually being able to understand who they are, if they have any kind of mental health concerns, or even who they are as far as identity-wise, no matter what. Those things, if those get cultivated, we have a lot less of a volatile society, which is something else we complain about. If you try to connect the dots to folks who want to just go with the you're a softie and I'm a badass, you don't get very far. And it's too bad, because many of our politicians are pushing those arguments constantly over and over and over again. And they've convinced enough people the same.
Yeah, that was great. Sebastian Fritz says, please make this a short. That should be clipped out as a short. I really like that, JR. Yeah, you're right. They protect via law those that have the power to make them do what they want, which is corporations and the wealthy. That's it. Not regular workers, not regular parents. That's just the case. And they use all of these insidious, dishonest tools to get you to be okay with that. So many conservatives don't think that the men should get time off. They don't think they should get time off because they've been convinced by Fox News that it's not manly Oh, look at Pete Buttigieg. He wants time off with his kid. It's feminine what he's doing. This is how they manipulate you into giving up your rights and being perfectly fine with your own subjugation. That's what they do. It doesn't matter if it hurts you and hurts your kids and hurts your family or whatever. That's what they care about. That's what they'll do. And we shouldn't be okay with it. We should be pushing for this federally. A number of states have thankfully set up some sort of protected leave, but everybody should have access to this. I just spent 4 days caring for my daughter. And you know how like people always say, parenting a kid is a full-time job. No, it isn't, because a full-time job ends at 5. Parenting doesn't. It's not one full-time job. It is multiple full-time jobs. And when you have to go back to work after a couple days or a week, it is madness to think that a family can survive in that situation. It's madness that we allow it. And so we should be doing a lot more. We're going to be talking a lot more about it on the show. Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.